Okay, let's go to page 262, and this lesson is 22.3. Okay, so this one you have to do with quadratic inequalities. So if you have like x squared minus x minus 6 is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so when you're going to sketch this, right, make sure that you make the right hand side equal to 0 so you can do the factoring. And again, to get a boundary line, you treat this as equal as an equation. So you got x squared minus x minus 6 equal to 0. So you can treat it as equals to get the boundary line. Okay, and then after that, you can go ahead and do the factoring. Okay, so you got -1, -6, so it'd be 2 comma -3. So you got x plus 2, x minus 3. So your critical value would be -2, 3. Okay. And so when you're doing the sketching, again, you don't have to do you don't have to do to scale. Okay. You can just go and you just want to get an idea of when it's positive, when it's negative. So it's -2, this is 3. Okay. And since this is quadratic is going to have a parabola. And this is equal, so you're going to get that over here. Okay, so it'll be like this. And then to figure out your answer, again, you treat this like a y, okay, because y is a function of x. So imagine that this is y greater than 0. So y greater than 0 would be here and here, right? So you can imagine that this is the y and this is the x, right? So from this part, you can see that the answer would be this part and this part. So x would be less than or equal to -2, or x is greater than or equal to 3. Okay. Now, there's also a different notation of writing this answer. When you have parentheses, okay, when you have parentheses either right or left, that means it's an open circle. Okay, that means it does not including the value. Okay, the bracket means it's part of including the value. And union means or. So if you're going to write this in this notation, this go to infinity, right? But it never reach infinity, negative infinity. So it would be -infinity, comma, -2. And since this is a solid dot, it include that. Okay, or means union. And this is a non-strict, so it would be 3, comma, and you go to infinity because you never actually reach it, so you cannot including the infinity, so you get the brace, the parentheses like this. Okay. Okay. Now let's go to the example. Okay. Now on page 265, it gives you a warning. So let's say if you have 2 over x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 3 over x minus 3. Okay. Now, in this case, you have to be careful about cross multiplying. For one thing, you don't know if it's positive or negative. So what you want to do in this case is you want to make the right-hand side equal to 0 and treat this as like a factors. Okay, so move this to this side. So you got 2 over x plus 1 minus 3 over x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 0. So minus to get one side. Then next what you need to do is go ahead and make into common denominator. Okay, so your LCD would be x plus 1, x minus 3. So on the top you're going to get 2 times x minus 3 minus 3 times x plus 1. So you have to make into one big fraction. And then you simplify, so you're going to get 2x minus 6 minus 3x minus 3 over x plus 1, x minus 3, greater than or equal to 0. And you simplify, you're going to get -x minus 9 over x plus 1, x minus 3, greater than or equal to 0. Okay. Now, when you have to be careful on the next step. When you're doing your sketching, okay. Now, even though this is a division, but you can, when you're doing a sign analysis, okay, multiplication division will not affect positive or negative. Okay, so when you're doing the sketching, right, what you do is notice you got -x, x, x, right? So this is like your -x cubed. Okay, so first your critical values would be you have to get the critical value from here. So you got negative x minus 9 equal to 0. You have to set each part equal to 0 to get critical value. So you got if you just plus x on both sides, so you got negative 9 equal to x. So your critical value from here you're going to get negative 9, and from here you're going to get negative 1 and 3. Okay. So when you're doing your sketching, you're going to get negative 9, negative 1, and 3, right? But because this coefficient is negative, positive, positive, so your net coefficient is going to be negative. So again, remember, when you have an x, the graph is going to be like this. Negative x graph looks something like that. X squared and x cubed. Every additional direction is changed by 1, right? So x to the 4 would be looks like this, right? And if it's negative, okay, if it's negative x, it goes down like this, right? And negative x squared, it goes down like this. So again, if it's negative, it points down, right? If you got negative x cubed, the graph it looks something like that, right? So this graph you have to go like this, okay? Okay. And you're looking, and also one more thing you have to do is you have to watch the restriction, though, okay? Because of denominator, right? That x cannot equal to negative 1. And x cannot equal to 3, right? So that means these are open circle right over here, okay? That means those are open circle, okay? So be careful with that. Okay, so now you're looking for greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0. That means you're looking for this part right over here, okay? And so when you write your answer, you're going to get x is less than or equal to negative 9, okay? Or this part over here would be negative 1 less than x less than 3. Okay. If you write it in the other notation, okay, if you write it in the bracket notation or the parentheses notation bracket, you're going to get negative infinity, comma, negative 9, union, this is less than, so it would be negative 1, 3. Okay, so this would be this way. Okay. So this is so again, if you write it this way, again match this. Let's go from negative infinity to negative 9, from negative 1 to 3. Okay. Now another approach to this is, okay, once you get to this part over here, okay, I don't really like negative coefficients, so I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 1. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to get x plus 9 over x plus 1, x minus 3, and it's going to be less than or equal to 0. Okay? So from here, it's more obvious that, okay, so my critical values are negative 9 from here, and negative 1 and 3. Okay? And remember, x cannot equal to negative 1 because this will make it undefined, and x cannot equal to 3, make it undefined. Right? Now, when you're doing the sketching, again, so you're going to get negative 9, negative 1, 3, right? Now this is positive, okay, this is positive, so this is going to go like this now, okay, and again it's an open circle, okay, and notice the graph upside down now, okay, notice the graph is up, the graphs are upside down, however, because you change the direction, so now the part you're looking for is less than 0, so the part you're looking for is this part right over here, okay, so notice that you end up with the same thing, right, so if you look at so this one is going up, but you're looking for the down part. This part is going down, but you're looking for up part. But you can see that they are the same. Okay. And again, I like to positive. I don't like the negative coefficient. Okay? Very easy to make mistakes. So again, from here you do the same thing. Right? X is less than or equal to negative 9, or negative 1 is less than x less than 3. Okay. So you get exactly the same answers. Okay. Either way. And again, if you write in notation, would be negative infinity to negative 9, union, negative 1, 3. Write it this way. Okay.